really working, that is the one who has the question, basically. Okay,
Yeah.
they have the question, maybe they have all the information. Why do we need to push that information up, 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 when that person had almost everything to make the decision? Hmm?
Yeah.
That's basically the question. Okay, so to give you a perspective, hmm, this is usually what is known in management, that only 4% of the problems are known by top manager.
Right.
96% of the problems are not known to top managers. 9% of those problems that are not known to top managers are known to middle management.
Yeah.
74%
Nice.
are known to supervisors. Again, remember that I said, maybe you are closer to the problem, maybe you're in a good position to make a decision, right? Or to gather information from the entire group. But, 100% of the problems are known to frontline employees. So,
Yeah.
yeah, there are strategic things that, of course, top management know that employees don't have anything to do with. And that's perfect. They are in a strategic position. But we can see that mostly, more or less 96% of the problems are not known to them. They are known by the employees for sure. Maybe they are known by the supervisors most of the time, yes. So why are we pushing the decision maybe to middle managers when supervisors can make the decision? Or why
Yeah.
employees are pushing the decision to the supervisors when they can make the decision? They have all the answers. Why do
Yes.
you think this happens? Even considering this, knowing this, that employees and supervisors have so many information. Why still many decisions are not being made there?
Uh, this is apply with your theory when you flip the diamond, making the decision coming from down to up. That with that is that this is a beautiful slice. I wasn't imagine that someone will explain it this way. I know that this is iceberg, but I like the explanation. That's why I'm writing it now. That's amazing.
Yeah, the iceberg
Um,
is amazing because we don't know, right?
yeah,
We
yeah.
can see
Sorry, Luciana.
here.
Can I just a second? Can you just a second be with me? Just a second, please. Sorry, Luciana. I'm sorry, it's have an
Yes,
urgent call.
no
Okay, go
problem.
ahead. Yeah, yeah. I like. Okay, so 9% you mentioned about middle manager. So from this now, and correct me, would you? Does that mean you are pushing, or I mean, this is explaining your proposal that the decision should be starting from down up? 96% of the problem. That means the people know the pain, know the solution, basically.
Yeah, know the solution, know the problem. And this is something that when I implement 5S, for instance, I go to a company, I go to the operators, and many times they complain. They say, well, uh, I have this problem. And I say, why don't you solve it? No, because they don't want me to do it. They will call an engineer to come fix it. The engineer will take maybe 3 months to analyze how to do this better. The engineer will contact someone else, will contact a company to do this. Maybe in 6 months it will get solved, but they will spend a lot of money, and maybe the problem will not get totally solved. Right?
Right.
Because they didn't see everything, they just saw, okay, this is what we can do, because the engineer was not working there. So they can ask so many questions, but sometimes they don't ask the right questions. So this is what happened. The company spent a lot of time, spent a lot of money, spent a lot of time of the engineer, and
Right.
the product is still built, being manufactured wrong because you still have the problem in the process, right?
Um,
uh,
can I say something, please? I'm sorry for interrupting you. Yesterday, I visit a client,
mhm,
okay, who was working in a hospital. They do
mhm,
for a transplant surgery.
mhm.
I visit a hospital. They have a machine in the laboratories that is not working. The cost of spare parts is $5,000. Now, the frontline people, which is very low grade people who are the operator, they don't do the job. They cannot do their job because the machine is not working. Now, the supervisor approach the manager, middle manager, and middle manager approach the higher people. They say to them, I have a machine that costs $5,000, but please, if you don't repair it, we cannot do the work. That has been about now over 60 days. They did not repair it because they know the problem, but they don't feel this type of problem. And the people who feel this is exactly applied to this slides. So the top managers not, don't know the problem itself.
Right. Maybe, they receive an email about this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yes,
Yeah, we
yes,
need $4,000, and they say, well, maybe they don't even read it. Maybe, it's on their to-do list to decide later on. Maybe they're seeing if the budget, it
yeah,
comes into place, or maybe they're seeing the priorities. In the meantime, the employees can't work. So you're hiring a lot of people that are not able to do their job. Plus, consider how this is impacting the customer, maybe, or the patients. Mhm.
right, exactly.
And yeah, and in many cases, which is this is even worse, I've seen that these employees, maybe not in this particular case that you're talking about, but I've seen that these employees really have a good solution to implement to solve this, at least in the short term, or kind of,
Yeah,
you know uh, it's a dirty solution, right? It's something very,
yes,
maybe manual or something, but it could solve it.
yeah,
So
exactly.
when we're doing 5S, many times I say, well, why don't you do it? You need to come a weekend during the weekend and, paint something or repair something, with maybe spare parts that you have somewhere else, or, maybe they are, they are mechanics, some, at site. They can do it. They have the knowledge to do it, and they know exactly what they need, but they are not allowed to do that. Or
Exactly.
sometimes maybe they are not even told that they can think about doing that, so
Right.
that's where we want to change. I want not only change managers so that they start allowing these things to happen, but also train the employees to start asking for, hey, can I make this? Can I, propose this? Can I change this? So you need both sides. You need to work on both sides. Hmm?
Absolutely.
But basically, what's happening, leaders are usually considered heroes. They are supposed to make all the right decisions. And if you don't, you are weak. Mhm. You are losing your team's respect. But really, what you should do is not, become a hero. That doesn't make sense, really, in the long term, or that doesn't add any value, that you're a hero. Doesn't add any value to the customer. What adds value is that you can really help your team, remove obstacles, allocate the resources that they need to work. And if you cannot pay the $5,000, right? Say,
Uh-huh.
okay, uh, quickly. Why do you take 60 days just to, answer, right?
Yeah,
Just make
yeah,
an answer the next day. Well, we don't have the budget, so try to decide if there's any other way to do this.
yeah,
Or yeah, we had the budget, but we had the budget for, in 6 months. How can you solve this in the meantime?
right.
So that's the kind of things that we need. We need from them to provide the resources, or to say, yes, no, we have this, we have that. This is what we can do, so that you can act. But what happens is that in many cases, you don't receive even an answer.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
imagine the process is delayed, the solution is not there, the customer is impacted, and the employee gets frustrated. And this is the worst part, because the employee is still there, worked there for many years, and they will never again propose anything, because they know whatever they propose
Yeah,
goes nowhere.
Absolutely. Agree with you.
Well, you need to give people an opportunity to feel a sense of control of what they have of their process, that they can choose something, that they can decide, well, we kind of work this way, do something about it.
Yeah.
And this is something that is not very new. There are many organizations that are already doing that. And one of them is Toyota, for instance. Have you ever
Uh-huh.
been to a Toyota plant?
No.
No. Well, you can
I hear,
kind of,
but I haven't been there.
you need to find out if in Saudi Arabia or close by you have a plant, because they allow you to go visit most
Oh,
of
really?
them. Yes, yes. So I've been twice. I've been
Oh,
one in Argentina and I've been to one here in San Antonio, Texas. Not all of them, but the one in San Antonio you can visit, and it's good. I mean, you don't learn like so many things because
yeah.
they need to allow you to see some things, not everything, but it reminds you about many things. And one of the ones that you can see actually how they do it, you can see it in person, is the Andon Court, which is what the picture that is being shown right there. So what they do is they have a very interesting line of work where when a car maybe is built like in maybe 12 to 18 hours, so they do everything they need to do so that the car only takes less than a day to be built. Mm.
Wow.
It's amazing, and you can have a new car every minute.
Wow.
So you have the line where you can see one car after another, different cars. It's not like all the white cars, all the four. No, you have Tundra white. Then under that, then you have a Rav4, red. It doesn't matter. They
That
can have any car there.
that's amazing.
Uh, and of course, this is a quick process, right? So if you decide to stop 60 days to wait for a part, imagine, right?
Yeah.
You cannot do that. There's no way that can happen there. So the way it's set up, it it pushes people to make decisions fast. So
Right.
an employee is working, they just stay here, and the car comes and you have to do what you have to do, and the car continues and you stay here. Mm? So when
Yeah.
they go, when they receive the car, they have to do whatever they need to do. They find out a problem.
Wow.
So in many organizations, the employee would decide, okay, I don't want to work on this. I just hide it under the carpet, or I just do it. Or
Yeah.
but what they are being told in Toyota is that they need to fix it right away. No matter what, they need to do something about it. So what they do is they encounter this problem. They push the unknown cord. It's this little yellow cord that you see on top. They
Yeah.
push that, and the music starts. The music starts, meaning that it's a nice music, kind of like
Yeah.
music for babies, right? And this music says that they are solving a problem. They're working on something. So it tells everyone else that he is working on something. He's trying to solve something. So he makes decision of stop the line so that he can work on that. All right.
Okay.
He makes that decision. And then if he takes longer than a minute or so, he knows that if he takes longer than a minute or two, he can delay the entire plant. Mm? So he knows this has to be done fast. If it takes longer than a minute, then the supervisor is already entitled to go and try to help him. And that's how it goes. Then the
So
longer
so
it takes,
so if he delay in a minute, again, what you say again? Can you explain?
yes, it's kind of, he has 1 minute maybe to solve that. Usually what they do is quick. But
Okay.
sometimes if they're encountering a problem, they will take longer than that. So he needs to make the decision to say, okay, need to pull the unknown cord because I will need more time to solve this. And if it
Okay.
takes longer than a minute or so, then the supervisor needs to get involved so that he needs to get help. Mm?
Yeah.
But the first thing is that he has the decision to do something about this.
Okay.
Mm? So how can we make this happen in other companies, in other type of organizations? Give kind of an undercord to the employee to say, okay, I'm going to solve this. This is what I can do, or this is where I need help. But first, it's my role to work on that and solve it. Hmm? If imagine if they need to call the supervisor or the manager for every single problem.
Okay.
No, the entire line gets delayed. So they know if they can make the decision faster and solve the problem themselves, much better for the plant.
Right.
You see where I'm going.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it.
And this is something that is not only done in Toyota, but it's also been done in call centers. Mm.
Okay.
There are call centers. Remember that I talked about 1-800 Contact, the company that was doing contact lenses online.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they have a call center where they receive calls from different patients, people that need, glasses or contact lenses, and they are also empowered. So they have kind of a script, but really they don't need to follow the script. They need to do whatever they need to do to make the customer happy. Again, the wow, how they wow the
Yes.
service, the client. Sometimes the customer needs the lenses but they have no lenses, so how can they go somewhere, or how they get the lenses if they cannot even see?
Oh.
Right, they can't even
Yeah. Yeah.
drive.
Yeah.
So they are entitled to say, okay, no worries, I'm gonna pay $50, I'm gonna pay the Uber myself so that you can get there. Hmm?
Mm.
So they can make the decision to say, well, this is where this customer really needs help, and we can pay that.
Uh-huh.
So
That's
this is
interesting.
given decision to the frontline workers. Whenever you go complain to a business or something, and they say, well, let me ask to the manager. Really, do you need to ask the manager, to give me more fries or something? Mhm.
Yeah.
Like for instance, in McDonald's or these fast food places, sometimes you just throw away your Coke. It's on the
Uh-huh.
floor, or
Yeah.
the French fries, and they just come and give you more, no questions asked.
Absolutely. Agree.
They do these
Agree.
kind of things. So
Yes.
there's more we can do about this in all of the organizations. Mhm.
Right. Right. Yeah, I agree.
But we need to help employees to make decisions. We cannot just make this happen in a way that this is going to happen, like the innovation, right? Okay, yeah. Now I tell you, now from now on, you make decisions, and they will start making decisions. They won't.
Uh-huh.
I was talking to a client, and he was telling me that they told their employees, hey, from now on, whenever you need to stop, whatever you're doing, if you think something's wrong, stop it. And he told me nobody stopped. They kept doing their work. They wouldn't stop.
Mm.
The reason why is that they felt comfortable with that. They were used to that, and just that's fine. But they didn't realize that this is bad for the business, because if there's something wrong, that is, if you don't fix that part of the car and then it goes to the next step without getting fixed, it impacts the entire safety of the car, right?
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
need to help employees understand that. We're asking you to do this, but we really need you to do that. We really need you to make the decision. You need maybe training,
Yeah.
or maybe you need information. So that's
Right.
where you need to step in and say, okay, yeah, I want you to start making decisions, but I'm going to tell you how, or I'm going to give you the tools to do that. Mm? So
Yeah.
maybe you need to define minimally viable data for decisions. So for instance, saying, okay, these are the kind of things you need to make decision, or these are the kind of decisions that you can make. Not everything, but up to $100. You can use the money for whatever you think. More than
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
you trust me. you know,
Okay.
those
Yeah.
are the
Yeah.
things. And this is something that Google practice a lot. They have their 8 rules or values that they have. And there are three that are very much connected to this. One of them is fail fast and learn, share everything you can, and share data, not opinions. This has a lot to do with this dimension. And let me show you how. They talk about fail fast and learn. And this is very much connected to what we will see in the last chapter about self-organization, right? So do something, what you know you have to do. Uh, but if you observe that there's something wrong, you need to improve it, change it. Mhm. But this is kind of a cycle that we need to keep going every day. Mm. If we just stay in the repeat that just doing every day the same thing and we never make any changes, something's wrong there.
Uh-huh.
So we need to be always observant of what could be wrong or what could need some change and work on improving. And if we fail, we better fail fast and learn from that, and keep changing, procedures or, processes or whatever you need. The other thing is share everything you can. So this is
Sure.
part of what I was telling you, that you need to,
Yeah.
give information to the employee, um, so that they can feel safe to take risk. Mm? One
Yeah.
of the things they do is, for instance, they post a lot of problems on the wall. Google does that, right? So that
Uh-huh.
employees can go and, maybe someone can solve that problem. They have the knowledge to solve the problem. Mm?
Right. Okay.
Um, so they try to share, data from the customer, data, or they try to share problems, so that's how things are solved faster. For instance, that's how they develop the ads, the Google ads. This one
Yeah.
make them so uh so rich. Really, this is what was
It
bringing
is.
more of the money. But that was a thing that they were having a problem. There's system to look for words and get ads in the middle was not very effective, at that time, when they
Right.
started. So they say, okay, how can we solve this problem? And instead of the owners just try to solve the problem, they posted the problem in the kitchen so that all their employees could see it. Some of the employees saw that and feel empowered to change, to do something about it. So they spent the entire weekend trying to solve it. By Monday morning, they had solved it.
Nice.
And that's basically what made them so rich so fast. That,
Okay.
they gave the opportunity to other people to do that. And though that drove innovation, productivity, and engagement. Mm.
Right. That's
The
beautiful.
last thing, yes. Sorry, what did you want to say?
No, no, I agree with that's beautiful. I like it.
Yeah.
You use data,
And
not opinion.
yeah, and that's the last thing. Use data, not opinions, because sometimes employees, it depends on how they were trained before, and it depends on the background. Sometimes some employees are more intuitive and they just want to make a decision just because, right? And that's part of the reason why many leaders say, no, let me make the decision, because they don't trust their employees.
Okay.
But again, yeah, an employee, like if you make your kids decide, right, could be dangerous, could be risky.
Yes.
But instead of saying, well, no, you're not going to make any decisions, I'm going to make all the decisions, why don't you train your kids to make decisions and
Right.
explain, hey, yeah, you can make a decision as long as you come to me with data. If you can
Right.
show that you're right because X and Y and Z, yeah, go ahead, you make the decision.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Agree.
Yep. So if you have data, you can challenge anyone, even a manager. Why
Yeah.
not? Mhm.
Absolutely. I agree with you. So this is data-driven decisions and data-driven behavior or workplace is more efficient, I think, and get the people to be data-driven. I like that.
Yeah, data driven, but also that you need to, yeah, I mean, help them get the data, have the data on site. And that's kind of what we're going to see in the next session. We're going to try to find the why behind metrics. One of the things that we're going to talk about is go to the where the action takes place, right? Sometimes just getting data and seeing the data without what's really behind, you can make wrong decisions anyway. So
Okay.
again, there are several things to consider. Yes, get the data, but if the person that is really working there can make the decision with the data, that's even better because they have the context.
Yeah.
If that cannot happen, at least can you go and see with them and try to understand with their own from their own shoes, from their own perspective, what's going on, not just make the decision from your desk, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So to summarize, ME culture would be more paying attention to the problem, to the task, or to the numbers, how the numbers will look better instead of paying attention to the person. Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe I just want to be the one making the decision because I want to look better. And that's why I'm gonna make the decision. But that's
Mhm.
impacting the person that is in the problem. They will not feel engaged. Maybe you will not get the right answer. The customer will be impacted. So that's a very me culture. Mm.
And here I have something.
What?
Sometimes some books on leadership saying, don't look when you have a problem, don't focus on the person, focus on the problem to resolve it. Now, in this me culture, it's saying, don't focus on the problem, focus on the person. Am I,
So
what's your, uh-huh,
yes, this is the difference. It doesn't say do not focus on the problem or the process. It
okay,
says that, yeah, you need to focus on the process and the problem, but that's not enough. And
okay,
this is how it works. For instance, when I'm doing coaching to someone, right? You come with
uh-huh,
me, you come to me with a problem. Okay, I don't know how to, deal with a difficult situation with an employee.
uh-huh,
So I can teach you, no, okay, this is how you make decisions, or this is how you teach your employee. So I just go with the theory of how you
yeah,
do things. But if I focus also on you, on what's behind that, I may realize that you are fearful, or that you don't, you are afraid that that person is gonna steal your position, or you don't feel confident yourself because you are new in the position. Okay. So those things are maybe even more important that how to make the decision. That's not your real problem. Your problem is that you don't want to do it because you feel afraid of something.
uh-huh, uh-huh,
Okay.
100%, yeah,
Uh, so that's the thing. Sometimes we explain people, okay, this is the lean method. This is what you have to do. Rah rah rah. And I've done it. You
yeah,
explain all the things. This is what needs to be done. But then you realize that many employees won't even do it because again, they feel like, oh, I don't feel empowered to this, or my boss will
uh-huh,
will maybe fire me if I make any decisions, so I will not do it, or I don't have the time, or you have all these things in the employee's mind. If you
yes,
don't
yes,
consider that, you know, uh,
yeah,
it doesn't work. Like in the past, I think you would tell the employee, do this, and the employee would do it. They were more scared of changing jobs.
yeah,
Nowadays, they are not like that. Nowadays, they would say, well, I don't agree. And if you still push that, they will leave the company. It's kind of like that. So
mhm,
you have to care about the person too. It's very important.
yeah, yeah, agree
Mhm.
with you, yeah, yeah, sure,
So you need to, experiment, learn, and repeat. Continue this cycle all the time. Push
hmm,
that to the employees to, learn, share information with them. Push them to use data, not opinions. Not just tell them, "Oh, I think this." Okay, why you think that? If you can
yeah,
convince me, go ahead. Also, that they need to learn to persuade. Maybe they need training on this because they are not used to make decisions. So maybe they will be shy. They won't be able to speak up. You need to help them speak up, especially if they are minorities. Maybe they are the only women in the group or the only young person in the group. You need to help them.
yes,
They
yes,
will not naturally go on there and do it. Mm.
right, agree with you,
So you need to create a safe space to do that, and be available also when they ask for help, not be abandoning them. either. That's
Yes.
the only, no, now because you have the data, that's it. You just don't need to call me anymore. But sometimes
Yeah.
they still need help, and especially at the very beginning of this change. This is not something that
Hmm.
will happen from one moment to the other.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Sure. Sure.
Okay, so this is it
Sounds
for
good.
today. What I would like you to do as an exercise is try to think, maybe, could be with your leader or with your team, up or down. Try to think what are the things that you are not deciding today and maybe you could decide. Hmm? Or the
Yeah.
other way, what are the things that you're deciding and maybe your team could start deciding instead? That's the only exercise that you're gonna do. Okay, try to prepare that for Tuesday,
Sure.
and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I will work on this, and we'll talk about it in coming Tuesday. I'm very excited about the talks, and the thing is, I have only one suggestion, Louisiana. Um, if you can, I don't know if you have a time to talk to the IT team who are managing the app, to
Mhm, yes.
I guess it might need to be improved, especially in the browsing. It's nice, it has a great information, but it's slow.
Yes, I told them that. I told them that. So you were able to access at least.
Yeah, no, I cannot access a lot of stuff I cannot access because I don't have a points in them, because it requires I think access things. This is one thing. Another thing is it's browsing when it is very slow.
Hmm. Okay, why don't you, if you can, send me some of the where you're seeing more things low, maybe show me
Okay,
images or screens
sure.
of what you're seeing. And I will also give you a link so that you can go on, maybe from your computer. Maybe from your computer will be faster.
Oh,
So,
please,
yes,
please.
tell me everything that you're seeing so I can try to
Yeah,
fix it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like see now, it will take a minimum 30 minutes to open. Honestly.
Okay, well, right. So tell me those details. 30 minutes to open is, it shouldn't
So
even take
now,
more than
see
3 seconds.
now for me is 8 o'clock p.m. I will now see when it is, and I will call you, or I will email you when it's gonna be open. That will probably tell us how it is efficient.
Okay, okay, excellent.
Okay,
Yes, if you
sure,
could detail that, and I will work with
no
them.
problem. Okay,
Excellent.
no problem. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
See you
Bye
next
bye.
Tuesday.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye.